tonight let me start with earlier. So this morning we had pancakes and fruit and some bacon. So for lunch today, we failed. We ate out. And we didn't plan to eat out today. We just ended up in town doing some errands and things like that a little bit longer than we thought we were going to. So I ended up starving and we ended up eating out. So I ended up getting KFC and then Brandon got Taco Bell. And I'm going to share that with you because we're human and we don't always, come home and eat and, do the things that we planned. So no big deal there. We just pick up again tomorrow and try again. Am I going to do that every week? Absolutely not. But this is real life and sometimes these situations arise and we were just really busy doing stuff and we needed to get something quick. So that's what we ended up doing. So for tonight, also going to do a quick meal. So we're going to do tomato soup and then we're going to do grilled cheese. So my tip with cheese, so I buy a big block of cheese, so like 4 of these, right, all together, about once every 3 or 4 months. We use cheese on sandwiches and that is literally it. So what I do is I take that big block of cheese and I divide it into these little baggies, and usually I'll get like 4 or 5 of them. And then that'll last us about 4 months. And I think the block of cheese is like $11. So, and then we use maybe 1 of these little packs each month. So saves us some money there because for the huge block, it's so cheap. So that's what we're doing tonight. Nothing fancy. I did make up some garlic bread. So, I'll probably have like a slice of that and then Brandon will have a couple grilled cheese sandwiches. And that's what we'll do for supper tonight. Okay, so here it is, 55 cents for this little loaf here. What I did was I cut it up and I sliced it, and I ended up slicing it into 10 pieces. That's about normal. And then I mixed up some butter, some garlic, fresh garlic, and some parsley. And I buttered the little pieces. So now I'm just going to wrap it back up and throw it in the freezer. And then when we make spaghetti or lasagna, we'll dig out some garlic bread. And it's just the same as I would buy in the store. So usually for breakfast, I'll just have a couple pieces of toast with some jam. Sometimes I will have one of them and give Everett some with just some peanut butter. Really simple and easy. Chili night tonight, so we have some dried beans. I do the dried beans because I can get about 3 pots of chili out of them instead of just 1 when I buy canned stuff, so it works out a little cheaper. So in here we have red kidney beans and then small red beans. If you're doing dried beans though, make sure you soak them beforehand, otherwise they will just absorb all the water and it'll take forever and ever to cook your chili. And then we have diced tomatoes, a pound of burger. For chili, really it's kind of all about the seasonings. So chili powder, cumin, or cumin, however you say that, salt, pepper, onions. Put this in with the burger when I make those. And then just some tomatoes. So this is tomato soup, which works. You can do about half can of this, or you can get like a tomato sauce, which works really well. Okay, so for supper tonight, I'm going to use 1 of these creamy chicken pastas. I'll do that. And then what I do is I buy, let me grab this. Okay, so I buy like a huge bag of brown rice and I just keep it in a cereal container. with, oh, so I just keep it in a cereal container with a little scoop in there. And then I just add some additional rice to these packets. These packets serve, servings per container is about 2.5. If I add, I think I have a third cup in there. If I add like 2/3 cup of rice, typically we can get like 5 or 6 meals out of it. So that's typically what I do with these. I like the flavoring of these, and not having to use broth or season or anything like that. So that's really good. I have wings in this bag. This looks so weird. Okay, so when we buy full chickens, I will either cook them whole or I will, you know, piece them apart. And so wings aren't something that I use very often, but they're great if I'm gonna shred meat and like put them in a dish. So what I'll do with this is, I think I have like 4 wings in here. I will take these and put them in the air fryer and cook them until they're done. And then I will shred this meat and mix it in with the rice. Kind of do like a little one-pot meal with some broccoli as well. I'll save a few big pieces just for Everett because that's the easiest way for him to eat them, and then I chop the rest up. And same goes with cauliflower. Brandon's not the hugest fan of cauliflower, but I love cauliflower. But if I chop it up really tiny, then he doesn't even mind. So, easy way for me to do that. I will show you the finished product when I am done. Okay, so Brandon's favorite night of the week, we're doing tacos tonight. So I do a pound of burger and I season it with salt and pepper, and then I throw some onions in. I'm a huge onion fan, so I throw in quite a few. And then I use this taco seasoning mix, and I don't know, I always split my burger in half and I season half of it and I leave the other half plain because I feel like we never use a full pound of burger with taco seasoning because tacos warmed up just are not that great. So I always like do half and half, I guess. So I never use a full packet, so that's why I have half a packet here. Plus we do taco sauce on our tacos, and so I feel like you don't need a ton of this. We have some lettuce here we'll slice up, and then some green bell pepper we'll slice up. And then I have hard taco shells because this is my preference. And then Brandon likes soft shelled tortillas, so he'll probably have 3 of these. I'll have 2 of these. So 1 pack of like 18 shells lasts me, honestly, a couple months. Okay, so tonight we are having spaghetti. Brandon's actually making it. So this is what we use for that. So I don't actually have spaghetti noodles. I have linguine noodles, but same thing, whatever. So we make our own sauce. So I do a pound of burger. We do petite diced tomatoes, a can of tomato soup. You can get tomato paste. This is just what I have on hand, and honestly, it works pretty much the same. We have salt, black pepper. We do some parsley flakes. We do some Italian seasoning, some minced garlic, and then I have onions. I buy like a bag of them about every 2 months, I'd say, and I just chop them all up and freeze them because really the only thing I use them in is like Okay, so super simple, like 10-minute meal tonight, guys. We are doing meatballs and gravy. So I do a pound of burger. I season it however you like to season it. I do salt and pepper, and then instead of doing like onion powder or anything like that, I just use like cut up onion. Throw a few of those in there. Cook the meatballs, and then when those are done, I drain the grease, of course, and then I mix up brown gravy mix. So what I do with this is, I think it says like a full cup of water. I do 2/3 cup water and 1/3 cup of milk. I just feel like it gives it kind of a creamier flavor if you're using like a package. Green beans, I feel like this should be like a great value add because everything I use typically has that brand. Anyway, it's not. So green beans, I just put a little of these in a cup with some water and put them in the microwave for a couple minutes, and they steam up really nice. If you're cooking a whole bag, you can steam them in the bag, but I mean, we'll get like a ton of meals out of this one bag. And then I am just doing instant potatoes today, so not the healthiest, but like I said, we're doing like a 10-minute meal tonight just to get Everett to bed on time. So just some Idaho Spuds, you know, water, milk, butter, salt, all going to those, and it's awesome. So that's what we're doing tonight. Sometimes I like to just have easy breakfasts on hand, and so today I'm making an egg bake. They do take a little while to cook, so I usually do this like on a Saturday or a Sunday. So what I have in here is first I put the hash browns down. I put salt, pepper, and spinach with those, and a little bit of butter, and throw them in the oven for about 20 minutes just to kind of soften them up. And then I added some peppers that I had cut up in my freezer already. I added bacon, and then I poured eggs over everything. So I usually do about 7 or 8 eggs, and then when I beat the eggs, I beat them with a little bit of water. If you use water instead of milk, typically they end up a little bit fluffier, a little bit lighter because the water evaporates out of it. But you can use milk as well. And then my last step is just to add some cheese. So I just have some mild cheddar cheese. Brandon offered to go to the store the other morning because we needed just a couple of things. And so we're going to go over, you know, what else we spent our grocery budget on this month. So, let's turn you around here. Okay. So, first thing we needed was milk. We were completely out of milk. We go through yogurt pretty fast, so we end up buying a couple of these each month. So he picked up another thing of yogurt. I have some pre-made pizza crusts in the freezer right now that I want to use up this month, so we needed some pizza sauce. These granola bars we also get a couple times a month, so they're just a variety pack. You get 3 different kinds. We are almost out of syrup, so we have some syrup. Minced garlic we were almost out of. This is the kind I like to get because it is in water. It takes all the work of doing fresh garlic out of the equation for me when I cook. So we always get that. Just store it in the fridge to keep it fresh. 2 loaves of bread here. So we have wheat, and then we have 100% whole wheat. We have cereal, which wasn't necessarily on the list because I just bought cereal last week. But if he didn't get cereal this week, I would have ended up buying another bag next week. So he just has 2 bags right away to work off of, give him a little variety. Bananas, because when you have a baby, you go through bananas like crazy. And then just some Red Delicious apples. Just a good snack to have on hand. And then a couple of impulse buys. So he ended up picking up some tuna. Tuna's not something that I like. It's not something that I typically think to pick up, but it's a good, easy lunch for him. So when he goes shopping, he typically, sometimes we'll get them just to have on hand. And then he also picked up this green tea red goji raspberry, which I don't think is exactly what he was looking for, but this is what he got. So that is what we got, and the total on that came to $39.42. So we'll round that to 40, and we still have quite a bit of grocery budget left. We should still have $70 in the grocery budget for the rest of the month. Then I made that chili the other day, and this is my soup trick that I do. So whenever we do soup, there's usually leftover soup. And so what I do is I take like clear plastic cups or Solo cups, and I put a couple scoops in here, you know, the same amount that I would do in a normal bowl. And then I throw them in the freezer, and then I put them in a baggie, and I send this with Brandon to work along with like a glass bowl. So they sit out, they kind of loosen from the cup a little bit, and then you can slide them right out. Otherwise, you can also soak them in a little bit of water, and they'll slide away from the cup, and you can slide them out, throw them in the microwave on defrost or whatever you need to do. But I don't microwave them in the plastic. I always put it in glass to microwave, but super quick, super easy, and it's a great way for leftovers. And even if he's not on his work week where he needs to go to work this week, they'll still keep, you know, in the freezer. So 2 weeks from now when he is going to work, I can still send them with him. Plus, like this weather we got going on right now, we have so much snow, you guys. So it's kind of a perfect soup day. So, and this saves me from having to make more. So we baked some cookies. So these are peanut butter monster cookies. They're amazing. I bake them every single month. I just need something sweet on hand. And these just are it. And they have some oatmeal in them, which is good if you're breastfeeding. So that's why I like these. Doesn't justify that they're healthy or anything like that, but I try. So what I do is I put a bunch of them out in our cookie jar, of course, and then I put a bunch in bags to freeze. So I made one batch of these. It's like 4 cups of oatmeal, a cup and a half of peanut butter, you know, brown sugar, baking powder or baking soda, I don't know. One or the other, don't mix the two up. And butter, you know, just like the regular things. M&Ms, and then a thing of chocolate chips. And I get anywhere from 70 to 90 cookies. So this time I got around 90. I counted like 85, but I'm certain that there's been a fair bit of snacking going on. So you can probably get well over 90. But yeah, so this is what I do every month, and typically one batch lasts us the whole month, and it's just an easy snack that we have on hand. I throw these in the freezer, and then when I dig them out, I just throw them in the cookie jar, and they thaw out just perfect. So you can't even tell that they were in the freezer, because honestly, they're never in there long. Okay, so tonight we're having steamed broccoli, chicken breast, cheese sauce, and then mashed potatoes. He eats exactly what we eat. So we have broccoli. He's got his hands full right now. And he loves broccoli. We have chicken. I just cut longer pieces so that way he can grab them and kind of gnaw on them. And then mashed potatoes over here. And he's not wearing a bib or anything because it's messy. So that's what we do for Everett.